Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to briefly demonstrate the Riff Repeater function, and afterwards I'll talk about difficulty settings in Rocksmith 2014. The Riff Repeater and dynamic difficulty features are both carryovers from the original game, but they've seen major improvements in 2014, especially the Riff Repeater. The Repeater is far more convenient in 2014 than it was in the original game, and allows far more user control over what plays, how it is played, and what happens when it is played well. As the song begins, you can see the Riff Repeater hotkey pop up in the bottom right corner, but you can get the repeater from the pause menu in the song as well. Rocksmith usually does a good job of keeping pace with the player, but this repeater allows you to set the bar for yourself. My current settings here allow me to basically play my selection as I've set it up until I make a change, but the Riff Repeater can have many different outcomes depending on the settings you choose. At the top, you can select the section of the song you wish to play, and by adjusting the start and end sections, this can include the entire song, which is excellent for skipping through normal progression, or taking a step back in dynamic difficulty if you have any trouble. Note the hotkeys at the top and elsewhere in the repeater, and though they may be different if you're not on a PC, the appropriate button to press should be displayed in roughly the same area. You can also change the section start and end at the bottom of the screen here with the options in the Riff Repeater. The difficulty setting changes the difficulty of the song, which basically means how many notes are displayed. We'll talk about that more at the end. Speed controls the speed at which the song is played, as you might have guessed, and many guitar teachers will tell you to start slow and play clean and build up from there when you're working on something difficult. Oftentimes I'll leave difficulty maxed or as high as I can play it, and I'll just work on speed and mechanics whenever I'm in the Riff Repeater. Accelerate controls whether or not the speed will increase when you've played through your speed repetitions within your error tolerance. Level up controls whether difficulty will increase in the same way when you've played through your difficulty repetitions within your error tolerance. If you've chosen to level up and or accelerate the selection that you've made, you should also set the difficulty repetitions and the speed repetitions as well, as these control how many times you must complete a section within that error tolerance that you've set before you can advance in either speed or difficulty. If you set the repeater to have both level up and accelerate on at the same time, they will sort of leapfrog each other, going up and down and back up again at each step. And this is normal, and presumably they made it this way to allow players to get a grip on the speed and the note patterns at each step before they advance to the next level. Error tolerance sets how many mistakes you can make and still progress to the next level of the repeated selection. In terms of how many notes this means you can miss, it scales from allowing no missed notes when set to off to 1, 3, and then 5, I believe. But it might also change depending on the song. I haven't really tested that yet. Auto-continue resumes the song after the selected section has been leveled. If level up is off, the song will resume after you complete your selected repetitions. If level up is on, along with auto-continue, the song will level up completely before the song resumes via auto-continue. I have this option set to off, but the option would be good to have on if you were using it to open a Riff Repeater in the middle of a song to practice just one difficult section and then keep playing. Master mode changes whether or not master mode will be in play during Riff Repeater when you select or level up a portion to 100%. If you level a section fully with master mode set on, then what the repeater will do is phase you into master mode the next time the section repeats. I again have this set to off just because memorizing songs as quickly as I can level them is not possible, and I need the visual cue. View previous mistakes will place exclamation marks next to any notes that you missed on your previous repetition. You can always turn it off if you find it annoying or unnecessary, but sometimes it can be useful to see where you're missing notes, especially if they're in a cluster. So pay attention to the difficulty you've set here. If you've changed your sections after you set your difficulty, there's a good chance that your difficulty has adjusted itself again because you've included other sections that might not have been at the same difficulty level, and that will scale it up or down. So you might save yourself a step if you select the difficulty where you want it after you've selected your section start and end. So once you've made all your selections, you can use the Start Riff Repeater selection at the top, make sure not to use resume song. Resuming a song through Riff Repeater or the options menu or pausing will cancel Riff Repeater and it will begin the song normally. You might not even notice the change, so be careful of resuming the song in any form if you want to stay in Riff Repeater. Okay, so that pretty much covers it for the options in the menu. I guess now I'll talk about dynamic difficulty, which again is carried over from Rocksmith, but in 2014 it's much better. It's an excellent feature generally speaking, and it builds on the player's progress, but it can also lead to frustration and other problems when the difficulty does increase. You can see the amount of notes shown and the fret spacing between them increases and decreases when you change the difficulty setting. Entire chords may materialize and multiply from just a handful of notes, or new strumming and picking patterns might emerge, and the distance your fingers must stretch or travel changes, and so on. And this is the curse of dynamic difficulty, as great as it can be, because the way a song looks and the way it's likely to be played, it may change drastically as a player levels up from 0 to 100% in a song. You may have to learn a new way to play the song after you've already spent however much time leveling it up to that stage. And it might not be a total loss, but it never feels good to go backwards. So I think it's a good idea to at least know what the song looks like at the level you wish to play it, whether that's 50% or the completed song, so that you can plan ahead to where your fingers are going to be and what kind of strumming or picking pattern you're going to have in the finished product. From there you can change the difficulty and the speed to whatever you're comfortable with, whatever provides a challenge for you but also allows you to groove and to play cleanly. That's important as well. So that's all I have to say about the Riff Repeater. It's a great tool. You should experiment with it and play around and see what works best for you, because every player is different, every person's different, and that's why it's so great to have such control over what you play and how it progresses as you go along. So goodbye everyone, and thanks for watching.